Viewer discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is podcast number 8. I'm Red Samples. With me is Austin Harris and Nick Ballinger. Gonna jump right
What's
into
up?
it. NBA Finals. We've got OKC versus Indiana. Who y'all got?
I'm gonna take OKC. It's too good of a team. To be honest with you, I probably ain't gonna watch it though.
Jeez.
Just because the Pacers had to beat my Knicks, but not really.
Makes sense.
But honestly,
They
I don't think
they
it's
beat
gonna
them
be like
easily.
a
Easily beat
NBA.
'em.
Like it's kind of. But to me, it's kind of disappointing in how great the NBA playoffs was, and then we get to these two teams in the finals. It's kind of like all disappointing in the end. But best of
mean how
luck to
good
them.
they
Two
were?
best teams in there. Hopefully it's entertaining.
But from my standpoint, obviously I don't watch a lot of basketball. Y'all know that. But I mean, from what I've watched, like these are the two exciting teams. Like as far as action, up and down the court, nonstop. I mean, personally, I couldn't ask for a better matchup just because from the tip off to the end, it's just going to be nonstop. I feel. So
I mean, I'll give it to you. It might be
I think
nonstop. I don't know for sure if that would be my take, but I realistically I would take
I mean,
out of this matchup. I'm probably going Indiana. I know that OKC they got the fresh legs and they've proven that pretty much all series long. But I think the Pacers are playing good enough basketball right now to shock them in the finals this year.
I do like how Obi Toppin stepped up whenever the Pacers needed him most. Like he played really well, and I do love that the NBA handled the MVP award the right way and they gave it to the right person. And see,
Oh yeah, that was
yeah.
a big shock among people too.
with a big shock. No, I mean when I watched the final of the game, I was driving back, from Philadelphia, and I was like, dude, if they give this award to Halliburton, this is so rigged because like Siakam 100% earned it. Like he was the reason why the Pacers were able to win some of those games so easily.
Yeah. I think Oklahoma's going to have an upper hand right this first, maybe 2 games, just because they've had the extra rest. So as far as like who I'm picking, I mean, I'm going to pick the Pacers. I'm going to go with the Pacers because that's the team I've been following for like 2 years that I have been watching NBA. I don't see the Pacers taking maybe not even the first 2 games. I think they're going to be 0-2 going back to Indiana.
I think it's going to flip. I think it's going to go 1-1, 1-1, and then we'll see how it finishes. We have a 3-game series. Maybe somebody wins the first 2 and takes the series.
See, I think,
Continue to split, and we have a game 7.
I'm thinking game 7, but I think it'll go 2-2. Both of them win at home, and then the last 3 games are going to be really where the battle's going to be in.
What do y'all got for the MVP?
So OKC would have home court advantage.
Sure, right? I know the first 2 games are at Oklahoma, and then they go to Indiana. Let's see.
No, well, then they would have it then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who y'all got for the
Who we got? What?
It will be entertaining. What'd you say
Lord have mercy?
MVP?
One
Who we
of us
thinking?
is lagging hard.
for the MVP? Yeah, it's you.
Yeah, 100%.
It must
Yeah,
be.
So
It
for the
must be.
MVP of the series, I'm gonna take Jalen Williams for MVP of the series. I think he's been the best player for OKC throughout the playoffs, and I think he continues to be.
Do you think for this year? Do you think that a loser could win the MVP?
it would take somebody would have to really put up some crazy statistics to get that. I don't think it's possible. It would have to be unreal.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't pick the MVP just because the Pacers have enough depth that at any night, any one of them could step up. Like, I mean, Siakam last series, he stepped up and pretty much the whole playoffs so far for the Pacers. And then OKC has enough depth that I don't know. I won't be able to.
Well, I mean, when you look at, in my opinion, I could be wrong when it comes down to it, but if you look at the Pacers, it's probably going to be Halliburton or Siakam. And then on the Thunder, it's going to be SGA or Jalen Williams. But it doesn't mean it can't be anybody else. But that's the two from each team you would expect it to be.
Yeah, who's the other guy for the Thunder? I can't think of his name.
Chet Holmgren?
No. Hey, man, my mind just went blank. Hold on. Let me look.
What, Dort?
Yeah, no. Maybe it was Jalen Williams I'm thinking of.
Jalen Williams has been the
Maybe
best
that's the one I'm thinking of.
Thunder in the playoffs. If not for Jalen Williams, I don't even think that I don't think they get through the Nuggets.
Yeah. Who you think, Brad?
It really depends. OKC, I mean, 100%. If they win, SGA is getting it. It don't matter who plays well. It's just going to be one of those things that goes hand in hand. Like, he just won the MVP and would be taking a championship home with it. Like, it's going to go to him by default. If the Pacers win, I'd want to say Halliburton, but if Siakam plays like he has been and kind of outshines him, I think it's going to be one of those things that's either going to be a pity play, like they give it to Siakam in the conference finals to give it to Halliburton in the championship, or they just go ahead and give it to Siakam in the finals because he's playing exactly like a guy that's been there, and he's been in the finals too. So I really think it's probably going to be him. And if there's not any bias, from the voters, it's going to be him. If there is bias, then they'll hand it off to Halliburton. So OKC, SGA, 100%, no doubt, and then one of those two, depending on how votes sway.
Yeah.
Am I coming through pretty quick for y'all now?
Yeah, everything's good.
All right. I'm about to say, because I started talking a while ago, and y'all were like, y'all would start saying something, and then y'all were like, oh, why did he start talking? So I knew I was lagging for sure. All right. MLB, a topic that's going around right now that I kind of want to touch on because, it could be a big deal in the future. Paul Skeens, should he be traded or not?
I mean, you can't trade your best player on your team this early in his career.
Tell it to the Magic.
But this early in his career, that's just crazy to trade a guy like Paul Skeens. I mean, you're essentially saying like, hey, if we draft you number 1 overall and you're a superstar, guess what? We're going to trade you anyways. I don't know. It's a bad rep for your organization in total. But I do feel like eventually they will have to trade Paul Skeens. I just don't think you can do it this early.
Some of these trade packages, obviously, they're it's all hypothetical stuff. But some of the trade packages that the Pirates could get from Boston or the Dodgers, I would have to sit back and actually really think, is moving Paul Skeens worth it? Now, don't get me wrong. The Pirates in this position right now are definitely at the point where trading Paul Skeens is the wrong play just because you took him as high as you did, and he's every bit as advertised. But if you're not driving in any runs, and I mean his stat line the other day, his stat line for the season. Let me see this because so on the year, no. So since he's been a starter in the MLB, he has 208 innings, a 2.03 ERA. He's 15-8 with 247 strikeouts. I mean,
Jacob DeGrom went through it. I'm just saying.
yeah, and we see where Jacob DeGrom's at.
Yeah, multiple Cy Youngs.
Uh,
10 and 9
100%.
record with the Mets.
Yeah, 100%. But the thing with the Mets is the Mets could actually score runs. If O'Neal Cruz isn't hitting it out, the Pirates are having trouble scoring runs, and I get why it's a topic of conversation, because you don't want to waste a guy that's as good as Paul Skeens. And if the Pirates continue to not make any move, like at some point you're gonna have to make trades that don't involve Paul Skeens to make your lineup better, or take a chance on some of your younger guys and bring them up and actually, like, if you're gonna suck, don't suck with old veterans that are not producing. Go ahead and bring up some of these young guys from Double and Triple A, or one or two. I haven't really double checked their farm system in a month or two, but everybody has some guys. Go ahead and bring them up and let them be getting the experience. That way, if you're not going to trade him, you're at least getting you're working towards something. If you leave them down there and you keep playing with these vets that aren't producing, you are essentially wasting Paul Skeens' arm. And the way the pitching goes this era, like, Paul Skeens, as fast as he's throwing, I don't care what his workout regimen looks like and how hardcore he is strengthening that arm. Almost every pitcher goes through the Tommy John surgery when they throw that fast. It's just part of it.
Do you think that makes the Pirates want to be more quickly in the trade talk with him? Is it seeing all these pitchers that get injured? Maybe we're like, hey, before something does happen, do we need to go ahead and trade him now?
And that's a good question, because with this pitch clock, every pitcher has said, like, hey, like Spencer Strider was, hey, this is going to affect pitchers a lot more than the MLB realizes. And then he freaking has Tommy John. Like,
we seen Corbin Burns go out, was it today or yesterday?
Yeah.
With his elbow too, which didn't look very good.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just consistently, it's trending that way. And I get wanting to make the game faster, but when you're having pitchers that pitch as fast as they do, just like Paul Skeens, because he's in that 100 club, you're at the point where it would probably make more sense, if you're expecting this coming while you have him under 5 years, go ahead and trade him and get a freaking Roman Anthony with, 2 or 3 awesome prospects. Like, there's teams like I said, Boston and the Dodgers, that have prospects that could make a deal well worth it, because Roman Anthony and players like that, Dalton Rushing, we've already seen, they're ready to play, and they're ready to play in the show. There's no question.
See,
and go ahead, Nick.
From the perspective of, if you're a Paul Skeens fan, yeah, I want him to go to a team where he can dominate and actually have the run support to showcase how good he's actually playing. Like, you go out there and you lose games 2-1 or 2-0, you pitch a phenomenal game, but you just have no run support. If you were a Paul Skeens fan, yes, you'd want him to go somewhere else so he can really showcase how good he is. But if you're a Pirates fan, you don't want him to trade him. You want him to build around him. That means they got to spend money. It's not just about coming up with trade logic or whatever, trying to get some people in. Spend the money in free agency and stuff. Buy the players that are available to surround him in the off season. But on the other hand, as a company or program standpoint, we got this amazing player. We don't like spending money. We can get a lot of prospects and a lot of other stuff in return for him now that he's young, before any injuries. From that standpoint, yeah, we trade him. So it just depends on which side of that fence you want to stand on. Are you a fan of the player? Are you a fan of the organization? Or are you a fan of the business itself?
Well, I think as far as when it comes to the Pirates, you talk about spending money. I don't think it's so much about spending money. It's about the players wanting to come there to play. Nobody wants to play for a losing franchise, So it doesn't matter what you offer them. you got to have the talent there already for somebody to want to come there and play because everybody wants to win a championship.
Yeah.
My biggest thing with this is I just don't want to see what we've seen with Mike Trout. Like, Mike Trout was a generational talent that gave his heart for the Angels and continues to do so. And he got to the point that he was literally giving everything he got, that now his body's just shutting down. Injury after injury, he can't stay out there. And it's like, man, like, this guy, any given year, would bat 330 with 45 bombs and absolutely dominate any pitcher that faced him. And now he can't stay healthy in a year. Like, I don't want to see that out of Paul Skeens. And we don't have, like, Paul Skeens is obviously a generational talent. You don't see pitchers come out in their rookie year and make an all-star team and get the nod to be the starter. Like,
But he was second in the Cy Young race too, right?
correct.
I think so. Yeah.
And the only reason why that was because of the innings. Like, literally, there was biasy from voters on that aspect because they brought him up later than they should have, and he didn't have the innings. So they were like, well, I mean, they docked him for it. He just, I do get, like I said, and to your point, Nick, as a Pirates organization, if you're going to get better when you have these kind of players come along, you obviously need to keep them. Like 100%. If there's any player that's going to attract players to come play for you, it would be having a guy like Paul Skeens as your ace.
But look at the players they've had. Like, they've had like ace pitchers come through that organization that they got rid of. Who's the one for they with the Dodgers now? Glass now.
Oh
Yeah.
They had him. Then there's another one, maybe
Glass-
with the
Glass
Yankees
was only
now.
there- He was only there for like his rookie year.
Yeah, so I mean they've had the pitchers. They just always send them away.
Yeah, but they've never had any as good early as Skeens is.
Yeah.
I mean,
What Nick's point though is he's saying you had players there that could be around Paul Skeens right now.
Right.
They're not there anymore.
100%.
Like
100%.
Jameson Time was
Yeah,
also
that's the other one.
with,
Yeah.
with the Pirates as well.
Yeah, but injury started plaguing him, really. Same.
That's
Now that he's 33 years old, he's pitching the best he's ever pitched in his career.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they got another young guy with Jared Jones.
Oh,
Yeah.
And they got Bubba Chandler. I get it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They have two
Anthony
phenomenal.
Davis, another number one pick. This is their catcher.
They have two great pitchers behind him. That obviously, well, Jared Jones is injured and
Right.
Bubba Chandler's in AAA, but they 100%. That's what I'm saying. Like, they have enough that if they would start calling these players up, like, we could potentially see a nice turnaround for the Pirates, or take one or two of these, like, obviously not both of them, but take like a Bubba Chandler and trade him for, a good vet bat or, some good pitching prospects, because Bubba Chandler's, I think, second in the top 100 right now, only because Roman Anthony hasn't got called up for whatever reason. So the opportunity's there, and as far as the business goes, like, they could find some way to work this around, and I get you have guys there that you want to be loyal to and you want to give the playing time to because you paid them and that's what they're supposed to do. But if you're not going to compete in the Central against the Cardinals, the Cubs, the Brewers I say the Cardinals. Let me do the Cubs and the Brewers because they constantly make moves. There's not a year goes by that neither one of them teams are making trades in the offseason, trades at the deadline. Like, they try to build their chance to win. The Cardinals, for whatever reason, we try to do some stuff in the offseason, and we just hope and pray that, the stuff.
We act like our farm system was as good as it was back in the early 2000s.
Correct. We're waiting on our next Albert Pujols to come through. But with those two teams, the Pirates are never going to compete against them if they don't start doing like their business model. Yeah. So personally, I don't want to see Paul Skeens move. Just because I feel like he's probably a loyalty guy, and he got drafted by Pittsburgh, and he wants to be like he wants to look back and be like, look at what Pittsburgh was, and look where I took them. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he wants to be that type of player. And he goes out there and there's even when he's not getting the runs, like you never really see that on his face. Given you don't see really any emotion on that dude's face.
Right.
But I would love to see that for him, but I think it's gonna be after this year, going into next year, it's probably gonna be a high possibility that we see him get traded. Because having when he goes out and has another sub 2 ERA year like he did last year, teams are gonna be like, I don't care what our top prospects are doing. This is a guy that we put him in our rotation right now. We you put this guy on somebody like the Royals that are having problems out of their pitching staff. Those bats would heat up so fast. Like the motivation would be there. I personally don't want to see him traded. I think it's going to happen within the next year and a half. And the Pittsburgh Pirates are just going to continue to be a poverty franchise.
I'm with you. I mean, personally, I don't want to see him. Like you talked about Trout, that loyalty to the franchise. I personally, as a casual baseball fan, very casual, I like that loyalty aspect, like following the players that stick with the team. Like even the Angels haven't had good years, but the star number one player in the MLB, arguably for years, stayed with that organization. I like seeing that personally. So,
Speaking of prospects, Jack Caglione just got called up with the big leagues. Yeah, he just got called up to the big leagues. So there's another prospect that's out there. You was talking about the Royals making a move.
For the Royals? Yeah.
So Jack Caglione is now going to be playing with the big league club.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Is he as good of a two-way star as Ohtani?
now that we covered
Am I good on y'all's end?
Yeah.
It was showing blurry for y'all, so didn't know for sure.
Yeah. Even when you're not, we just overlook it. Keep riding.
Yeah. So if it ever does that, just be like, I don't know, just throw a hand up or something. That way I kind of got a cue, like, hey, like I'm coming in late or something.
It's so bad. Sometimes I don't know if you can see us or not.
Yeah.
I've been able to see y'all the whole time, so.
There's been times like you start talking, I didn't hear half what you said. I just sit there and wait for the silence so I know you're done talking.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Cy Young front runners. What y'all's list look like here? Give me y'all's top 2 to 3.
I'll do AL or NL.
Start off AL.
All right, I got 4 for you. I mean, obviously the top 4 from what I've seen is Bubic, whatever, Chris Bubic. 5-2 record, a 1.4 ERA with a 3 WAR. I think personally I got him at the top of the list, and then followed by Max Fried, 7-1 record as a starter, 1.9 ERA with a 0.97 WAR. Nathan Eovaldi, 4-3 record, not a great record, but I mean a 1.56 ERA. That just tells you that he's doing his job. He just ain't getting the bat support. And then a 2.8 WAR, and then finally Tariq Skubal, 5-2 record, 2.26 ERA with 2.8 WAR. He's also got he averages like 11.9 Ks through 9. So
he's a beast.
I'd add one more to the American League there. Can't leave out Jacob deGrom neither, though.
Yeah.
Can you leave out Hunter Brown?
I mean, no, but Hunter Brown's also been known to implode and give up 6 runs in the first inning. So. But you can't leave out Jacob deGrom because past tells you that you can't leave out Jacob deGrom.
Yeah, for sure.
I do like the list, though. I do like Bubic, too. I agree with him being at the top right now. Max Fried being right. Them two are neck and neck right now at the top. But Jacob deGrom is going to give him a good race down the stretch if he can stay healthy.
I just like that 3 WAR that Bubic has, however you say the name. Like,
yeah.
So.
Yeah. And Skubal, obviously. Yeah. Skubal's been obviously dominant.
Yeah.
Can't take away from him neither.
Almost 12 Ks through 9 for Skubal. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's starting to pick it up a notch the last few starts he's had.
Yeah, I mean when you go out there and throw a complete game in your last pitch, you freaking
One
throw
of
throw it 100.
crazy.
He was just making a point at that point. Uh, at, on the American League side, yeah, uh, I've got Scooble at the top, and then under him for me, I've got Freed, Crochet, and I've been teetering back and forth. I kind of like Rodon. He is, if not, how long was he back last year? He might be a good like comeback player type, because he's pitched absolutely lights out too. I don't know if the Yankees may be cheating. We may have another Astros moment on our hands because Carlos is looking really good and Max is looking really good, and neither one of them have looked as good at any other point in their careers they do now.
Yeah,
with Garrett Cole going out,
yeah.
pretty much all Yankee fans were kind of like, man, this sucks. We lost Soto, we lost our ace, and then here you go. You got two guys that both of them could be your ace right now. So I got, as shocking as that is, I got two Yankees in the top five, and then I got Crochet, Scooble, and I think I got to put Hunter Brown in the spot. I mean, I get the ability to give it up, but with 8 wins, man, that's tough. He's looked really good. He's looked really sharp,
Especially
and
playing on a team that hasn't really won a lot this year.
that lineup. I mean, they've missed. They traded Bregman. They've been missing Jordan pretty much all year. Altuve's looking like age is finally catching up with him, and those few young guys have stepped up. For him to have 8 wins, I feel like I've definitely got to put him in the top 5, based or compared to the other guys that are sitting with 4 and 5 wins. Crochet has 5, but yeah, I think rounding out my 5 spot, I got Hunter Brown.
Well, the National League.
Also, do like Crochet though. Crochet was my favorite going into the year, so I can't leave Crochet. I think Crochet.
And is he the first pitcher to break 100 strikeouts?
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Well, he's sitting at 100. Let's see, he's sitting at 101.
I did have him being the league leader in strikeouts.
So him and Mackenzie Gore are both at 101, and Scooble's at 9. So Scooble's at 99. And is averaging almost 13 Ks per 9, and Crochet is in the 100 club. So now, given Crochet does have one more game started, but still, that is kind of funny that's where they're sitting. So that just tells you for sure, even though Crochet's 5 and 4, just how dominant he's been too.
So National League.
Yeah. What are y'all looking at there?
Obviously, I'm taking my guy Zach Wheeler in the number
Of
one
course.
spot.
Yeah.
Give me Zach Wheeler in the number 1 spot. I think Yamamoto and Paul Skeens, they're right there with him though. Probably put them in the 2 and 3. Then I don't know. They're kind of at miles ahead of everybody else in my opinion, really. But Hunter Green, if he starts pitching like he did to start the year, Hunter Green will be really close in that race. And then Chris Sale. You can't leave Chris Sale out of there neither. That's my top 5 in the NL.
His biggest problem's been run support too. The Braves have not been able to put him on so far this year.
But what Zach Wheeler has done this year might be the best start to his career, which is crazy for a guy that's had a really good career with the Phillies. This may be his time to really take that award.
All right, so I got similar 3 of the top. I just got top 4 again. I went with Kota Senga number 1, a 6-3 record, a 1.6 ERA, And then I got Yamamoto, and then Skeens behind him, followed by Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler, same thing as Scooball. You know, averages over 11 Ks through 9. So it's kind of gets him up there for me. But I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much into Singa, but yeah, I got him number 1 with that low ERA and plus 2.2 WAR.
No, I do like Singa as well. I just feel like Singa's a little bit lower than those. I don't really have a good reason for why. I just feel like the other guys are just so much better right now. You know, nothing against Singa though. I just feel like they're just so much better right now.
Well, Singa, I do agree. I have Singa lower. The ERA looks nice, but he's benefited very heavily from having, like, in his starts, having a lot of defensive help.
Yeah.
Because he has not struck out players like with that what was it, ghost forkball, ghost changeup? I forgot what he's got.
I think it's Ghost Forkball.
Ghost forkball, yeah.
Yeah.
He has not got people swinging on that like he has previously, like the last 2 years. So he is lower. Like, I mean, we're talking. My man's sitting at. You've got a 2-5 pitcher, Mackenzie Gore, that's got he's got a 5 ERA, so terrible. But he's sitting at 101 strikeouts, and
But if you look at Mackenzie Gore though, through like 5 innings, Mackenzie Gore is one of the best pitchers in the league.
For
when
sure.
When you get in the 6th and 7th, that's when people start hitting Mackenzie Gore. Third
Yeah.
time through the order, Mackenzie Gore kind of falls off.
yeah, that's pretty much any pitcher though. But the dominant ones like the
We're talking about Cy Young though.
Right.
We're
Yeah,
talking about
typically the ones that win Cy Youngs are the ones that can, go 7 strong almost every outing. But what I was getting at is like Kodai Senga, he's sitting there at 59 strikeouts on the year, so it's tough.
how many strikeouts?
59.
That is pretty low.
59, like, I don't even know if he's in the top 25 in the National League in strikeouts. So, yeah, he's unfortunately, like, I do like Senga, but he's definitely lower in that regard because of that. Like, I mean, 6-3, 1.6, that obviously looks really good. Who else is on your list?
I had Yamamoto like he did, Skeens and Wheeler. Those were my other 3.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
For sure, gotta have them. I gotta give some love to my boy Robbie Ray. I mean, my lord.
Probably raised that in a year.
Hey, 7-1, and he was pretty much out all of last year. I don't remember if he come back at the end or not, but he was out, and he was a guy that kind of going in. People were like, he's either gonna be really good or he's gonna be really bad. Like nobody really knows how he's gonna play in San Fran. But man, he's sitting there with 78 strikeouts, a 2.43 ERA, and daggone, he's sitting 7-1. I gotta put him up there, man. I love that. I love seeing him in that spot. He's sitting there at freaking 33 years old and still, gassing it up.
So to like add to what you said, what's crazy is like you look at FanDuel, they have Logan Webb also with the Giants, plus 2,000, and Robbie Ray plus 3,200. But I mean, Robbie Ray's had a better year than Logan Webb, so it's kind of crazy to see that, in my opinion.
Which Logan Webb, I was kind of on the fence with him because I didn't really know where to put him. Man, there's a couple guys like I really liked what I've seen out of Schwellenbach. Obviously, I've loved what I've seen out of Matthew Liberatore. He just he's the guy that has a tendency at any point in the game to
give up a lot in the first inning. Well, also another guy that we haven't even mentioned is Jesus Luzardo.
Oh, 100%.
That dude is like pitching like a man on a mission this year, dude.
Yeah, he 5-1.
I don't know.
I think so.
I don't have a.
Yeah, 5-1. He's 5-1 on the year.
But I feel like he's had a lot. How many strikeouts does he have right now?
81.
So he's struck out quite a bit.
Somebody else I feel like I gotta give flowers to. Clay Holmes, man.
Yeah.
I was not expecting him in the rotation to look as like crispy as he has, but man, that 307 with 6 wins, and what's he looking at on strikeouts? I mean, 59 like Kodai. He's been surprising to me, like coming out of the bullpen and going over there and starting. I guess they were pitching him in New York last year because they didn't really have a choice. But yeah, I mean, just the small sample size I seen, like I knew that he could be a starting pitcher, but I've got to give him some props. He's definitely surprised me jumping over to the other side of New York and freaking playing absolutely good ball with the Mets.
A guy I feel like that was like probably top 10 in the Cy Young race until yesterday. Brandon Pfaadt.
Yeah,
The
Lord.
guy was pitching unreal, and then yesterday he goes out. What gives up? Was it 6 or 8 earned, and gets no outs?
Yeah, is that the one in the first? They was up 10-0 or something like
Yeah,
that.
it was against the Nationals. Yeah.
Yeah.
He gave up. I think it was 8 earned, and didn't even get a single out. Bro.
But I didn't have him up that high though because again he's just one of those guys that hasn't been striking out very many guys this year.
But he doesn't. But his career, he's never been a strikeout guy. Neither.
Yeah, I get it. You know, you look for a combination of these things, and when they're so low, like when we're talking low, he's at 49 strikeouts on the year.
Yeah,
As dominant as he's been. Like, I don't know if there's ever been a Cy Young winner that's been like
outside the top 20 in strikeout. Yeah.
My man, he might be outside the top 40 in strikeouts. I mean, that's low, son. So yeah, I don't know if I had him quite that high, but yeah.
I stumbled across that score after the fights. I was trying to find something to watch. I think I ended up turning on the Padres game. Then I seen that score. I almost started to watch it to see if Arizona could come back, but I just stayed away from it once I seen it was like 10 or I can't remember if it was 10 or 11 nothing in the first inning. And yeah, it just blew my mind when I seen that.
No kidding. All right, let's jump over to NFL. Let's see. This week we're doing the NFL North, doing the North divisions. We're doing their over/under team total wins for this coming up year. Let's start on the AFC side. Let's start with the Ravens. They're at 11.5. Y'all think over or under here?
Shit, I'm taking over. I'm taking easily over.
Yeah.
Best team in the AFC right now.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's a discussion. I feel like that's over, unfortunately.
We may be looking at the first team to go 17-0 in a regular season.
I mean, if they keep adding weapons, I mean, they
don't have an easy schedule though.
They would like. They're such a good team though. Like, I don't think another team could beat them. They would have to beat themselves, which is very possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think last year they had just as much promise last year, if not more, after they added Henry last year. And then I can't remember if it was like week 1 or 2. They lost one, if not both of those games. Let me go back and look.
Well, they started off pretty sloppy in the year.
Right.
They were 2-2 to start the year.
Yeah,
and then they started playing well after.
Is that what it was? So,
I could be wrong, but I think
they went 0-2. They lost to the Chiefs and the Raiders last year.
Okay, so
1-2. Yeah. So, but you look at this year's schedule. They open up against Buffalo away. That's their first game, and then obviously they got Cleveland, and then Detroit, and then Kansas City. It's their first 4 games.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's very easily as far as them going undefeated, they could slip up against 1 or 2 of those teams. But 11, so 12 wins. Yeah, I could see.
But on another note, Lamar Jackson usually starts off the season slow.
Yeah.
And then he starts progressing as the year goes on. So like you said, to have those 4 games, 3 of the 4 being pretty much toss-ups because the Bills are that good, the Lions are that good, and we know the Chiefs are always that good.
Right.
So, I mean, like Lamar is going to have to get off to a hot start in order for the Ravens to have that great of a year. But I think when you look at getting 12 wins, I think the Ravens easily get 12.
Yeah, because the back half of their schedule. Okay, so you've seen the first 4. Then they go after the Chiefs. They got Houston at home, and then Los Angeles at home. Then their bye week. And then coming out of the bye week, they got Chicago, Miami, Minnesota, Cleveland, the Jets, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, New England, Green Bay, and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they do have an easy stretch there.
Yeah, so yeah, with the line being 11.5, I think 12-5 at minimum is very doable.
If they
If
win
not,
three,
yeah.
if they win 3 of their first 4, you can go ahead and give
Yeah.
them 12.
For sure.
just based off how it looks.
Or even split those, I think 2-2 out of their first 4 leaves it open for.
And honestly, like that's the only reason I can see that the line would be as low as it is because of those first
Yeah.
3 out of the 4 games that they have.
Right. I would take the over just maybe 12. And now if it was any higher, I wouldn't touch it. But that's kind of a perfect line because I could see 12 wins in their schedule for sure.
Oh yeah. All right. Bengals 10.5. Over under.
I'm gonna take the under here, just because the Bengals always get off to such a slow start. I don't know. 10.5 is a good line because the Bengals, like we know, Joe Burrow can do some crazy things halfway through the year and go into the MVP discussion out of nowhere. But I just don't think the Bengals overall are good enough to win 10 or more than 10 games.
Oh no. I disagree. Looking at this schedule, they're winning 11 games at least. They're starting off at least 2-0, probably 3-0 in the year. They're starting off with Cleveland, then they got Jacksonville, then they got Minnesota. I don't care what you say about J.J. McCarthy. I think he gets that.
It ain't even about JJ. Minnesota is a really good
Yeah.
team. A really good team.
And I get that, but if you ain't scoring points, how you gonna win?
Who's to say they ain't gonna score points?
Right. I mean, 2 years ago. All right, hear me out.
Justin Jefferson. They got Justin Jefferson, Aaron Jones. Hell, I could go play quarterback for the Minnesota.
Right. I mean, 2 years ago, everybody was saying Sam Darnold's one of the biggest busts in NFL history. And then last year, he goes to Minnesota, and he's one of the top 5 or 10 quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, revitalized his career. He even
Right.
signed a contract with the Seahawks. His career was over with until he signed with the
Facts. And so now you're saying J.J. McCarthy? Yeah, he's a rookie, and obviously last year was his rookie year, but this is his first year. He's going to be a rookie quarterback. But with Kevin O'Connell, it
Is he
don't
getting
really
off to a
matter.
strong start by his third game? Like, is he going to be shaped up in NFL form by his third game? Probably not.
Do you think the Bengals defense are going to give him trouble or something? Because Bengals don't have a good defense.
Yeah.
No,
I think, yeah.
I'm not
I
looking at
think-
that aspect. First off, they did as long as they can get these deals locked down with their pass rushers and not let Trey walk, I think they'll be okay at getting pressure on JJ. And then as far as that goes, I mean, do we need to name the weapons on the Bengals? Joe Burrow, Chase Brown finally broke out last year.
But
Jamal,
you're talking about J.J.
Lee.
McCarthy, though. You were bringing up J.J. McCarthy like the Bengals are going to do something to
I'm
make it look
saying
bad.
the Bengals are not going to have a problem scoring points.
No, absolutely not. Bengals
But
are
the
not gonna have a
Vikings probably will out of the gate. It's not.
I mean, probably because, like, let's just face it. This is JJ's rookie year.
Yeah.
Probably will because
Correct.
he's a rookie quarterback.
Game 3 of the year. That's what I'm saying. I can
But
see
the
the
Vikings,
starting 3-0.
outside of JJ McCarthy, may have one of the best teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
Why do you think Aaron Rodgers is holding out?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you take away, just
Dude,
don't even focus on the quarterback position
Hey,
because nobody knows what to expect out of JJ McCarthy because he is a rookie. You look at the rest of the team, I don't know if there's a better team than the Vikings.
Right.
I love their weapons. I mean, Jefferson and Addison is one of the best duos in the league, and then add T.J. Hawkinson and Aaron Jones that has dominated every year he's played. I mean, I get it. I don't know. Like, for J.J. McCarthy, for me, I know you sing his praises, but just what I watched out of Michigan and him not being a very like he didn't get a lot of reps at Michigan. He was never passing the ball a lot, so he may be sharp as a whip and he may go out there and absolutely exceed expectations. But I honestly, I don't see it.
My thing is,
But he did one thing at Michigan that Michigan didn't do without him and has not done without him, and that's win.
yeah. My thing is, okay,
Like Corum.
I don't care who the quarterback is. I really don't. Kevin O'Connell coaching that team is perfect because he knows how to develop the quarterback. Look, our Kirk Cousins got injured 2 years ago when he was with the Vikings, right? Who was it?
Teddy Bridgewater.
No, well, Bridgewater. There was another one from Tennessee College. Went to college, Tennessee. Ball headed.
Josh Dobbs.
Yes, Josh Dobbs. They come in there and won ball games with the Vikings, like
Yeah.
off of another team. They traded for him, picked him up free agents, whatever they did. Kevin O'Connell is such a good coach. He can scheme up no matter how bad the quarterback is. Even if J.J. McCarthy comes out and he's Jamarcus Russell, he's going to be able to scheme the offense around the quarterback's play. I truly believe that.
You had to go that deep.
I really believe that. You know, it's like
That's a hard take right there.
hey, that's how I like. Kevin O'Connell's a really good coach. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he is. He's a great coach. That's a great team.
Yeah.
You know what? We've been this heavily vested on the Vikings. Y'all taking their 8.5 over or under?
Oh my God, they put them at 8.5. Well, give me 11.5. I'll take it.
Yeah. Taking over for sure.
I don't even know what their schedule is. They're losing to Green Bay twice.
I don't care.
Jump.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, it's gonna be a race with the Lions and the Vikings out there who wins that division.
Yeah,
So I think the Lions are just.
that's false, champ. That's so false.
All right, hold on. We can't skip over the other two teams in FC. No,
Let's go back.
that was bad. That was bad. We got out there on that.
Y'all taking the over or the under on the Bengals?
I'm taking the under.
I'm taking the under.
Yeah, I'm
All
taking.
right,
the under.
I'm going over. I'm gonna ride the Joe train.
And so you got hold on. What's your number? I got 9.5. What do you got
for the Bengals?
for the Bengals? Yeah,
10.5.
yeah. At 10.5, I got the under for sure.
So at 9,
Yeah, I'll take both.
At the 9.5, I'm buying a game. I see them easily winning 11 games. So yeah, give me them on the over.
All right, we'll go with the Steelers.
All right, Steelers. I got 8.5. What you got?
I got 8.5 as well. Yeah, I think that was the only two we had different. Bengals, Browns.
I think history speaks for itself on that one. You'd like to say, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, when's the last time the Steelers had a losing record? And in order to go under, you'd have to have a losing record, obviously.
Right.
Or you could tie, but you'd still go under.
No, you can't tie a half. It's 8.5.
No,
so-
I'm sorry, you'd
Wow.
still go under. I said in order to go under, like you'd have to have a
Oh, I get what you're saying.
under
Tying a
unless
ball
you tie,
game.
but then you would still go under.
Gotcha.
You'd still be 8-1.
Yeah.
So I mean, that roster though, it's really hard to say that they're going to go over. I'm pretty sure we could have said the same about last year. I'm gonna have to take the under though. I just don't see it. I just don't see them having a winning record again.
Hold on, let me tell you the schedule. I'll try to pick out 9 games. New York opening
Yeah,
up.
please do.
Okay,
Which New York?
Jets. All right, then they got Seattle and New England. That's their first 3. Minnesota. Okay, Cleveland. Cincinnati, Green Bay, Indianapolis, Chargers, Bengals, Chicago, Baltimore, Miami, Cleveland, Detroit, Baltimore.
Yeah, where's 9 wins in that?
I'm gonna take the under. I'm gonna take the under.
It depends on their quarterback.
All right, if they got Rodgers, what's it look
If they got
like?
Rodgers, I'm taking over.
Yeah, if they got Rodgers, I'll take the over too. Though.
Yeah.
If
But
he's not on the roster right now. So
I'm sure though, if they got Rodgers, that line's going to change.
Yeah, it would have to.
Yeah. I'm going to take the over anyway. I like Mike Tomlin as a coach, and like you said, they haven't had a losing season. I don't even know since he's been there.
No.
I'd have to look, but yeah, and to find 9 games, the line's 8.5. Just give him one more game. Baltimore at the end of the year. We didn't talk about it last year. They play them the last game of the season. If they already got the bye week locked up, they're going to rest people. That's a free win. So, I'll take the over at 8.5. Yeah, I'll take the over.
This I'm just gonna go ahead and say that this line is based off Rodgers being there already. Just a heads up,
Yeah.
because First off, nobody in Vegas is going to say that Mason Rudolph is winning 8 games against them.
No way.
So I'm just going to go ahead and say that right
It's
now.
not Mason Rudolph. It's Howard.
Well, I think honestly, what Vegas is saying was, when's the last time they put it at 8.5 for a reason?
Yeah.
They put it in 8.5 because Pittsburgh hasn't had a losing record in like so long. That 8.5, like people's gonna be like, oh well, let's chalk that up. They're not gonna have a losing record again. No way, you know.
Yeah.
Wait a daggone minute. What in the crap? Why are the cheapest tickets? Sorry, I'm going off track. Why are the cheapest tickets between Pittsburgh and Minnesota $800?
Oh my god!
What? There's no other game they have on their roster.
Because everybody's buying tickets because they know Aaron Rodgers is gonna play for one of those two teams.
Either way, they're gonna get to see Aaron.
Oh, that's Packers fans jumping the ticket price up like that. By the way.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I'll take the over regardless. Just for Mike Tomlin being the coach there.
All right,
Browns. What you got? 4.5. I got 5.5.
yeah, I had 4.5. We'll go with the 5.5.
Oh, man.
Pittsburgh, I'm going under. By the way, no matter the quarterback, I'm going under.
Yeah.
Browns. I don't know.
I'm taking over on the Browns. I think the Browns are going to be a little bit better than people expect. Are they going to be good? Absolutely not. They're going to be a little bit better.
Okay, hold on. You tell me if they win a game in their first 8. All right.
Oh.
Game 1,
Yeah.
Cincy. Game 2, Baltimore. Game 3, Green Bay. Game 4, Detroit. Game 5, Minnesota. Game 6, Pittsburgh. Game 7, Miami. And Game 8, New England at New England.
I got 4 out of 4. They'll be 4 and 4. You said 8.
Who are they? Okay.
They're going to beat Cincinnati twice.
You think so?
Yeah,
Hey.
they're going to beat Cincinnati twice. They're going to beat New England.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a fan of Joe Burrow.
Hey.
So for you to say that, I'm okay with you saying that. But okay, so that's 2. Well, that's 1 in the first 8.
You said Cincinnati twice, right?
No, Cincinnati's once in the first 8.
There was another team you said. that I
Baltimore, Green Bay, Detroit, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Miami, New England.
So Pittsburgh and New England. That's 3. I'm taking 3 out of those.
I was about to say if you
Cincinnati-
have them 500 after 8 games, you got them at least winning 10 games.
Okay, so you're at 3. And then you're going to add the other Cincinnati. You think they're going to sweep Cincinnati?
Well, keep going with the schedule.
Okay, New
It
York.
depends on when. It depends on when they play Cincinnati.
All right, the
Cincinnati's
Jets.
last game of the year.
So they won't win that one.
The Jets.
Yeah, they beat the Jets. That's
Okay, so
4.
you're at 4. Baltimore, the Raiders.
Yeah, they beat the Raiders. Maybe.
Uh,
I'm gonna count it as 5. I'm gonna count it as they will.
All right, 49ers, Tennessee,
I'm gonna say they beat Tennessee.
Chicago, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati.
You should say it slower because I'm trying to think.
Chicago,
No,
Buffalo,
no.
Pittsburgh, Cincinnati.
I don't think they beat Pittsburgh that late in the year. And then no, they're not beating Cincinnati. So
So
I got 6. I
You
got
got them to
6.
6, so you got the over regardless.
Yeah, I was taking the over. I think they're gonna be a little bit better than people think.
I hope they are.
I think they
personally.
beat Cincinnati and I think they beat Pittsburgh in the first meeting. But late in the year, those are 2 teams that are gonna be tough to beat.
I'm going to take the over because I hope the Browns do good, regardless of who the quarterback is, if Shadur, if it's Gabriel, or Joe Flacco. We all agree it's not going to be, who's the 4th one?
It's not Pickett. He's not gonna
Yeah,
be there.
Pickett. Yeah, we all agree that, right? I don't care which one it is. I like the Browns just because it's always the underdog of the year, just about every year. So
What about Watson?
all right, so we got the 3 quarterbacks already. So yeah, I'll take at 5. I'd take 6 wins. Somebody's got to stink this year, right?
The Raiders.
You think so?
I think the Raiders and both New York teams are sitting at like 3 or 4 wins all year.
You don't think Tom Brady will come in midseason, they'll be 0-8 and be like, you know what, let me strap it up for the next 9
No.
games. We're going to win.
Not happening, bro.
Let me show y'all how it's done.
I think the Raiders and both New York teams finish 4 wins and below.
I'm going to take the over on the Browns, but at 5.5. If these 6 wins, I won't. Yeah. Yeah.
Like the other tier teams, you see the Browns as a lower tier team, and Jacksonville is a lower tier team. I see them getting like 5 or 6 wins.
Yeah. Especially late in the year, these guys are playing late in the year, who are possibly in playoff content. Like, let's rest our guys.
I don't even see a game that the Raiders will win.
Really, I haven't looked at their.
Because like I know they have
Yeah,
Jimmy
but-
and
Don't get off track.
I know they have
Yeah.
Jimmy and Brock Bowers, but like I don't know. But you were just saying teams that suck. All right, so what we doing? We on to the next NFC?
Yeah, I'm taking Browns over. I think
Taking the over 4.5 or 5.5.
over 5.5. I think they're gonna win their last 2 against Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, and that's gonna put them at 6. So I'm gonna take the over. Next we got the Lions, 10.5.
Yeah, I'm taking the over.
Yeah.
Yeah, another easy one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean,
Easy. I mean,
I can't believe they put them at 10.5. I would have figured that. So what did we say that Philadelphia was at when we talked about it last week?
11.5.
11.5. See, like that, like, and then we said the Baltimore.
11.5.
Yep. We also said Baltimore was 11.5. What? Like the Lions have proven that they're probably better than those two.
Yeah, I don't see where they go.
Other than obviously like in the playoffs, like the Lions choke, but regular season, Lions have been really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all still on the over though.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Green Bay. They're at 9.5.
9.5. That's right there on the fringe. I don't know.
Look at that schedule.
That's tough. 9 or like I would have the Packers like that's a pretty good line, honestly. That's a really good line. I'll give y'all one. I think y'all sneak one in and get that 10 wins. I would probably take the over. But man, it's going to be tough. Like y'all have to sweep Chicago. Obviously, you have to sweep Chicago to get the 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, we play Chicago at the end of the year, so I don't have. We're gonna sweep them for sure, because based off of how, unless we've done absolutely horrible throughout the year and the postseason isn't likely, like we're sweeping Chicago. We play them.
Hear me
You
out.
have to sweep Chicago, and you have to split with Minnesota.
All right, hear me out with the Chicago. The last Chicago game, they play Chicago at Chicago, and the next week they play Baltimore at home. Any chance they overlook Chicago? Looking
No.
ahead at that Baltimore game?
I don't think Green Bay will ever overlook Chicago. I just don't. If you're the Green Bay organization and you overlook Chicago, then you're not doing Green Bay very much justice.
First off,
that's
Chicago-
that's the games you have to win.
Chicago's made too many moves to overlook this offseason. Like they've absolutely they've addressed so many spots.
And Caleb Williams was so good in the second half of the season.
All right, so for the Packers, I'll take the over.
I have them 10.
Yeah, 10, yeah. Maybe 11. I think 11, yeah.
It's close. It's closer than I would like to admit. Looking at it,
Their schedule's not easy. I mean, they got Carolina. Okay, should be easy. Denver. Okay, New York Giants. Okay, Arizona.
Should beat Arizona.
Cleveland.
Should beat Cleveland.
So I mean, the downside is you got Washington, Dallas, Detroit. 3 out of your first 4.
I like us against Dallas. I'm about to say
That's a Sunday night game too.
as long as Brett Favre's not at the helm playing in Dallas, we're good. Brett Favre literally never beat Dallas in Dallas. That's out of all the years they played, that's crazy to think. But I don't think Jordan Love's gonna have a problem. I think we beat Dallas, and I do think we're right. We probably end with 10 wins.
Yeah, I think.
Another freaking great line by Vegas. We've already touched on the Vikings, but we'll go ahead and round them out. Vikings 8.5. What do y'all think?
Yeah, over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would take the Vikings with 12 wins. I think they beat out Green Bay, but Detroit probably takes the North.
They're not winning 12 games, but anyway, Bears 8.5.
I'm taking under.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take the under. I mean, I think the Bears got some really good things going for them in the future. Unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna help them out that much this year.
See, I'm not. Just put it out. I'm not a fan of Caleb Williams. So it's one of them things where I don't mind if the Bears win, but as long as he's the quarterback, I don't want to see him win. Just be honest with you.
Bro,
Same thing like years ago, Phillip Rivers had no reason not to really care for Phillip Rivers. I just didn't like seeing him win the games. Same thing here. I have no reason to not cheer for Caleb Williams. I just don't want to see him succeed. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the off the field stuff, the ego problem. I don't know. I just don't. I don't. Yeah, I don't care for him. So
This is an overinflated line. Looking at this schedule, I don't see them getting past, like, this line should be like 6.5, if that.
Personally, I have the Bears at 6 wins.
So we're looking at Minnesota, Detroit, Dallas, Las Vegas, Washington, New Orleans, Baltimore, Cincinnati, the Giants, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Green Bay, Philly, the Browns, Green Bay, 49ers, and Detroit. I do
what
not
if it is
see.
last year? That probably.
I don't.
Good Lord. I didn't
Yeah, what-
realize they lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They lost 10 games in a row last year.
Yeah, it
I
was
didn't,
not.
I didn't even realize that. So they went 1, 2, 3, 5 and 10. No, that's not 5 and 12. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
terrible line. Why is that so high? I guess because of the moves they made, though.
I guess. Vegas knows something we don't know.
Yeah,
So I don't know what's going on out. I don't know what's going on out there, mate. This may be one of those
Well, I
lines
feel
that you may want to take the over. I've got the under, but this may be one of those lines.
But
that
I mean,
Vegas-
Caleb Williams,
dude, everything about this is screaming.
Caleb Williams did play better.
Definitely taking under.
I am taking the under, but Caleb Williams played better in the second half. Maybe that's why Vegas had the odds up a little bit higher. I still just think they're way too high.
Whenever you say he played better in the second half, okay. His last 5 games, I'm just looking at it at a glance. He had one game against the Lions. He threw for 334 yards. The other 4 games, he surpassed 150 one time. That was against Minnesota, and then
Well, don't look at that. Look at the turnovers.
Or look at the score.
He notoriously turned the ball over in the first half of the season.
But look at the score. San Francisco 38-13 loss. Minnesota 30-12 loss. Detroit 34-17 loss. Seattle 6-3 loss. You lost a game to 6 by 6 or 3.
Yeah, but my point is he played better than he didn't turn the ball over as much as he did in the first half.
I mean, you could just say he ride the bench for the last 5 games and he played better. I mean, no turnovers in that aspect. Yeah. It's for the number one overall pick. I don't think he's.
Line's still way too high, though.
Yeah. Either way you look at it, yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say over. I think that this stuff. Listen, this stuff doesn't happen, and there not be a reason. And everything about this, looking at their schedule, is screaming, take the under. Take your mortgage. Take a second mortgage on your house and put it on the Bears to go under 8.5. So, man, I need to let me pull this up somewhere else. Let me see what, like, does every sports book have them at this? There ain't no way, right?
I'm pretty sure because I had 3 and all 3 of them had the same, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, this is just everything about this is like, I'm telling you, take your car, take your wedding ring, take your house, go get a loan at the bank. Everything is saying, take the freaking under, dude. Everything. There is not a single, like, looking at this, there is nothing on here that says, take the daggone Over.
8. I mean, all right. All right, I'm gonna read off the schedule. If it's close, if you think it's close, just say it's a win. We'll just try to give them 9 wins. Minnesota,
No.
Detroit,
No.
Dallas.
It's close.
Okay, so that's 1. Vegas,
2.
Yeah.
2. Washington,
No.
No.
New Orleans,
Yes.
Yeah.
3. Baltimore,
No.
Cincinnati,
No.
Giants.
Yeah.
Yes, that's 4. Minnesota,
No.
Pittsburgh.
Hmm.
All right, we'll say 5. Okay, Philadelphia,
No.
Green Bay,
No.
No.
Cleveland.
Yeah, that's
Yep,
close.
that's 6. Green Bay,
No.
No.
San Francisco,
No.
No.
Detroit. We
No.
gave them a bunch of maybes. Every maybe we gave has only 6. All right.
Man, I don't even think they're gonna get 6 wins now.
Right. So, yeah. And that's like I said, that's giving them all right. Maybe. Oh, well, we'll give it to them. That's not even definite. I mean, yeah, I don't see it. The only thing I see, maybe this is what's screwing the lines up. Maybe it's the coach. Everybody's so high on the coach, the new coach. We truly don't know how good he is as a head coach. We know how good of a coordinator he is at Detroit, but as far as a head coach, I wonder if that there has something to do with the lines.
Dude, that's crazy. The line is 8.5. I looked on 3 different sports books. All of them have them 8.5
Yeah.
at minus 135. That's nuts. I'm telling you. You know what? I'm taking the over. I don't know. I need us to look back on. I need us to look back and be like, hey, that was a nice call on you calling the over on the Bears. Because 8.5.
We can't all agree on everything. I feel like we can all agree on this one.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't.
All right.
Let's jump over to our expert in MMA. Let's cover this for the first time in podcast history. Podcast number 8. MMA will do a recap from last night and then look forward to the fights, the main card next Saturday. What you got? Nick?
All right, UFC on ESPN 68, Blanchfield versus Barber. All right, just from my opinion, this is all my opinion. Wasn't a great card altogether. If you look at the name value, there's not really a lot of names. But, I mean, the card itself had 9 fights. The main event got canceled. Blanchfield, Barber got canceled. I think she had a seizure in the back. As she was fisting to walk out to the octagon, she had a seizure.
Well, apparently she had multiple seizures. It wasn't medically cleared to walk out.
Right. So the main event itself got canceled off the rip. So I left it with 9 fights. 6 of them went to the decision. 2 of them subs and one knockout. But we'll start with Jordan Levitt submits Kurt Hollabaugh. Kurt Hollabaugh coming off the Ultimate Fighter. You know, who's the winner of Ultimate Fighter a couple seasons ago. But Levitt with a submission, 1:39 after being off for 18 months. Come back.
Who was that though that so Levitt fought? Was it Patty the Batty and Teabag?
Yeah, for sure. So, that was a good win by Levitt. After that, we had Dustin Jacoby knocking out Bruno Lopez, an up-and-coming prospect in Lopez in just 1:50. That's back-to-back KOs for Dustin Jacoby. After getting knocked out by Reyes, they gave him 2 prospects, and he's turned around and if I'm not mistaken, knocked out both prospects in the first round. As far as Jacoby, they're giving him prospects because he's a veteran, and they're trying to, okay, if you can get through this guy, you can come on to our rankings, but they're not getting past him. He's 32, 33 years old, something like that, maybe a little bit older. So right now for Dustin Jacoby, it's now or never for him to get up in the rankings and make a push for the title, or else he's just going to be the gatekeeper. And then finally, Ramiz Brahimaj submitted Billy Ray Goff, and that's 2 first-round finishes back-to-back for him. So he's once again 32-year-old. He's new in the UFC, and so he's got to start. Yeah, 32 is not old, but let's be honest, it's not young either in this sport. So he's got to start looking towards somebody close, maybe not in the top 15, but somebody right on the outside, and then just start pushing toward the top 15 for him. So he ain't got much time left. But
That's a first
as far
round
as
submission.
fights, yes, yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, that's his second one back to back. Yeah, and I think if I'm not mistaken, he's only had like 3 UFC fights. I'd have to double check, but let's see. No, he's had quite a few, but yeah, he knocked out Mickey Gall. Yeah, that's what it was. So he coming to the UFC. Let's see, loss, win, loss, win, loss. So it's just back and forth, and then finally he's got 2 first-round finishes under his belt. Like I said, 32-year-old. Now he's got the momentum. He can start making a push. Instead of he's got a win streak going, just keep going with it. But
another thing. So we go to the Macy Barber topic.
Mm-hmm.
Like Macy Barber, when she first come in, was one of the upcoming women's prospects. They talked about she was going to be like the number 1 in women's for a long time, and like that was the expectations that Macy Barber had set at the beginning of her career.
Yeah.
And then she tore her ACL, and now she hasn't been very active since she tore her ACL. Like
right.
what should we expect from Macy Barber now? Like obviously it was unfortunate what happened last night with the seizures, but like as far as like activity and what should we expect from Macy Barber like going forward now?
I think she's young enough. Let's see how old she is, like 26. Because when she come in, like you said, she had high expectations of herself. This ain't
She was young. Really young.
Yeah. This wasn't the UFC's expectations. This was her expectations. She said she come in and said she wanted to be the youngest UFC women's champion. Like she wanted to break John Jones's record, not just women's champion. She wanted to break John Jones's record of the youngest champion. And so she's right now 27. She's still very young. The problem is, but the problem with her is she missed weight. Obviously, she had a fight scheduled. What was it? July of last year, and then she withdrew from that one due to health problems, and so she hasn't fought since March of 2024. So over a year. In the last fight she had to pull out due to health concerns. She's been dealing with health issues. I'm honestly, just from my opinion, I think a lot of it has to do with the weight cutting.
Yeah.
It's not good in any sport to do weight cutting. I know why I hate it. I know why they do it. It's like, hey, I want an advantage. This is a legal way for me to get an advantage. But if they don't, everybody else is still going to do it. So you can't go in there and be like, I don't want to cheat the system. I want to weigh what I weigh and go in and fight.
They're going to be stronger than you.
Yeah. So then you're going to
weigh more than you leading up to that weight.
Exactly. So, but at a certain time, you got to decide, like, it's just too much. Because, like, even then, yesterday or day before yesterday, she missed the weight. She only missed it by half a pound, but either way, she missed the weight. And then she has a seizure literally walking to the octagon. And she has a seizure, and so I would imagine we've seen the UFC step in and tell people, hey, you've got to go up in weight. I would imagine this would be one of those situations they tell her, hey, you got to, like Henry Cejudo, double champ. When he first got in the UFC, he missed weight. They made him fight at the higher weight, and then he ended up winning. If I'm not mistaken, he won the title or went on a run, and then was able to come down in weight. But they made him fight at a higher weight because he was missing weight. So yeah. I personally, I think this is probably one of the things like, hey, go ahead and move on up to the next weight class. That way you don't deplete your body. See if that's one of the things. Because from everything I've seen, they don't know what's causing the issue. So it's just guesswork. So I guess I'm thinking the next thing would be just go ahead and not cut the weight and see if that'll fix the issue.
So potentially she's not taking very good care of her body during training, which is causing her to have more problems in weight cut. I mean, we can only assume that would be, a good reason for it.
Right.
Or maybe she really is having health problems. Because, like, we know that a torn ACL is hard to come back from,
Yeah. Because, like I said, March, her last fight. After that fight, she had pneumonia, strep throat, and staph infection. She got put in the hospital for a week and a half, all at the same time. And ever since then, this is where her issues have stemmed from. Not saying it's because of that, but like that was like the peak of, hey, my body's got issues. I got pneumonia, strep throat, and staph infection. So maybe her body just hasn't recovered from that. Why? Maybe because she's putting her body through too much stress trying to cut weight.
Maybe she hasn't allowed her body to recover.
Exactly. I don't know, but yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, but Blanchfield definitely. That's why the champion was there last night to see how this fight went, because that was a top contender fight. Not saying number one contender, but a top contender. So it kind of stinks for Blanchfield, because now both of them, be honest, but the winner of that, if they had a good showing, probably getting a title shot. Let's just be honest. But now Blanchfield doesn't have the opportunity to showcase that, so you can argue what's next for her. So, but yeah, it sucks, especially the fact that we've seen fights get canceled days before the event.
Never minutes.
Yeah, literally, they literally done the introduction, the hype video before the fight, and then after that, nothing was there. Even the commentators were like, yeah, this is weird, because we have this whole package set up, and after the package, music's supposed to hit, they're supposed to walk, but after they showed the video, no music hit. Literally no music hit, and they had to make the announcement to the audience, hey, main event's canceled, that's it, fellas. So yeah, it was unfortunate for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
But moving on up to next weekend, we got the pay-per-view, UFC 316, Merab Dvalishvili versus Sean O'Malley rematch. So y'all want to look at the main card, just go through some of them fights?
Yeah, we got. I'll give y'all the projected winners.
All right. First off, we got Vicente Luque, Kevin Holland. Luque's coming off a first-round submission over Themba Gorimbo back in December. Holland's on his third fight since January. The one guy hasn't fought since December. This is his third fight in this calendar year. So,
but Luque was on a heater before he lost the fight before that, right?
No.
There was a point where Luque was on a heater, though.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But I can look real quick. Let's see.
Because he made himself all the way up to the number one contender spot.
This is giving Holland a little better than a slight edge in this one.
All right, so here's Luque's last 1, 2, 3, 5. He's 3-2 in his last 5. He beat Themba Gorimbo in December. Got knocked out by Joaquin Buckley. Beat RDA. Lost a knockout to Jeff Neal, and then lost to Bilal. So, all right, so he made his. I don't know. Tyron Woodley, after Tyron lost the title, I guess you could say that was his highest in the rankings. He beat him, and then he beat Michael Chiesa, but then he turned around and lost to Bilal. As before Bilal became champion. So
yeah,
he's on a 3-2 in his last 5. But
Kevin Holland hasn't been very good recently.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like Kevin Holland, his third fight since he likes being active. I think he does better being active than he does taking breaks. However, he's good 2-3 fights in, but then when he starts getting that third or fourth, fifth fight of the year, I think it's just too much. Like, he got performance of the night. His last fight against Gunnar Nelson. That's a Kevin Holland fight. He's going to win awards. That's Kevin Holland for you. But now with this matchup in particular, you're looking at the style of fight. Luque's going to grapple. He's not. There's no way he's gonna stand there and try to stand up with Kevin Holland. I
will say Kevin Holland has gotten better in his takedown defense.
Yeah, and Kevin Holland's really good on the ground. He's good. His jiu-jitsu is good.
What was it, Sosa that he knocked out from his back?
Kevin
Holland knocked him out from his back?
Yeah.
It was Jacare Sosa, right?
Yeah, Jacare, yeah. So, I mean, Kevin Holland's good on the ground, but he prefers to stand up. And Luke, I don't think, I can't say somebody's going to do something. I don't have no control over it, but I wouldn't imagine Luque is going to be standing there and be like, yeah, we got this. Let's stand up.
Luque's not. Luque's not that kind of guy. He's going to fight your fight. He's going to fight his fight.
Yeah.
He don't care Like, how much you talk?
especially
Kevin Holland's gonna talk.
yeah. So, all right, what you think the over? What is it? The
Pretty even, right?
It's
favorite?
minus 238 to Kevin Holland.
Yeah.
Oh, minus 238. So what's the plus on the?
195.
195. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
That's a good
this
match.
fight could go either way, though. It really could go either way.
Yeah.
I personally would take Luque just because, like I said, he's going to fight his fight. Kevin Holland's going to try to force you to fight his fight, and I would just take Luque. Indecision. I don't think it's going to be a finish.
Yeah, if it's Luque, it's a decision, but that means you're giving Holland 3 rounds to knock him out.
Yeah.
So I'd probably go Holland by TKO. He could rock him and then submit him. Be honest, Holland's got good ground game, so
Well, if he gets you around the neck,
yeah, that's a possibility. He could hurt him and then submit him. Yeah. All right. After that, you got Mario Batista and Patchy Mix. Batista's riding a 7-fight win streak, and he's now facing Patchy Mix. Patchy Mix, who's making his UFC debut. He was the former champion at Bellator, and he's 20-1. 15 of those wins are by finish. The problem with Batista is 7-fight win streak. When have you heard of somebody on a 7-fight win streak?
yeah, not fighting for the title.
Well, not even that. Facing somebody and they're making a UFC debut.
Yeah.
Just my opinion, once again, I think it's kind of punishment from the UFC because his last fight, Mario Batista fought Jose Aldo to a decision back in October. He's been wanting, from what my understanding, he's been wanting to fight. They just haven't been fighting him. His fight against Jose Aldo was kind of a terrible fight. He didn't push the pressure. There was chances that he possibly could have got the finish, chased the finish, but he was kind of being, lackadaisical with the finish. He's just sitting there to win by points. Like he wanted to get the finish by decision or win by decision instead of taking a risk. Because take a risk against Jose, he can catch you.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, it seems like I could be wrong. Like I said, it was a lackluster fight, but it seems like this is kind of punishment. Hey, we haven't fought you since October. Now we're going to let you fight, but we're going to let you fight against this guy as a former champion in another organization.
That we think's better than you.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Patchy Mix is nasty. I mean, like I said, 20-1, 15 of those wins are by finish. So I don't know what the line is, but before you even say it, I would suspect Patchy Mix might be a favorite.
Pretty good.
Yeah. What is it?
Slight favorite.
Was it
Slight.
220?
Closest match of the night, 166 to 140.
Yeah. I mean, I would take Patchy too.
Yeah. Yeah. Patchy Mix is just...
I remember that fight with Jose Aldo also. It was the commentators were like, I don't know what's he doing? Why is he not pushing? It was
a little side note. Patchy Mix's girlfriend. I don't know if they're married, but they may be engaged. Tatiana Suarez was previously, if I'm not mistaken, undefeated until she just lost her title shot.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, after that you got Kevin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer. This matchup was originally scheduled for March 29th, but it canceled the day of the fight due to Pyfer illness. And same thing with Gastelum, like Luke or
making weight. Is he gonna make weight?
No. Yeah. But it seems like he's at the point in his career. Again, I hate the term gatekeeper, but it seems like that's where he finds himself at this stage. He's 3-5 since his title fight against Izzy, years ago. So, how much does he have left in the tank? But Pyfer. But as far as Pyfer goes, following his first loss in the UFC, his last fight, and he got a bounce back. I think it's KO over Marc-Andre Barriault. So now he's trying to get another win streak going. It's kind of a good matchup for him because Joe Pyfer's good, but he definitely is going to bring his wrestling with him. He's got to bring his wrestling defense with him.
But Kevin Gastelum is tough.
Yeah.
This
You're
is
not gonna you're gonna have a very hard time putting him away if that's your goal. Obviously.
this is a significant favorite for Pfeiffer. He's minus 380.
Yeah. A lot of that has to do with like I said, the run Joe Pfeiffer had. I mean, they had that saying, "Be Joe Pfeiffer," because he come to I think it was Contender Series, and got a knockout. That's what Dana White was looking for. He wants somebody that's going to come in and push the finish. So they made that saying, "Be Joe Pfeiffer," like telling everybody, "Hey, come in and look for the finish." He's good. He really is good, but it's one of them. Gaslam's a veteran, a nasty veteran. He can grind it out. He very well could grind a decision, but it's definitely there for Pfeiffer to get some momentum off the name of Gaslam.
But when Gaslam catch you though, he's relentless in the finish too.
Yeah. But when was the last time he finished somebody? I mean,
probably been a while. But I'm
Yeah.
speaking of his history of Kevin Gaslam.
For sure. Because like his last one, he got a decision over Rodriguez, and then he got a decision over Chris Curtis.
But back before the Izzy title fight,
Even
Kevin Gaslam was finishing people.
even then, he got a knockout over Michael Bisping.
He almost finished Izzy.
Yeah. He's been on a tough run. You look at his Wikipedia page. I mean, if you like the color red, go look at his last 10, 15 fights. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So, but
but like you said, he's at that point in his career where it's like
you get past him, you move up into the top guys. But if you don't get past him,
you're just gonna stay down.
Yeah. Co-main event, we got a women's title fight between Juliana Pena and Kayla Harrison.
This is gonna be a boat race.
A what?
It's gonna be a boat race.
Yeah.
Kayla Harrison probably gonna slam her 6, 7, I don't know, maybe 8 times. And I think Julia Pena's tough, but like when you talk about Kayla Harrison, you talk about generationally one of the greatest women athletes of all time.
Yeah.
2-time Olympic gold medalist. She was like the first American women's wrestler to win a gold medal, and she won them back to back. And then bring it into the UFC, like it was a matter of time. Where did she fight at before? What was it?
PFL.
Yeah, the PFL. It was a matter of time before she got to the UFC, and then it was just a matter of time before she got to the top. And this is her moment to get to the top, and then it's going to be, if she wins this fight, everybody's going to be racing to get to Kayla Harrison to see if they can beat her. It's just a tough fight.
It won't be a race. I mean, if she wins the title or the fight, she wins this fight, she gets the title. Her next fight is going to be Amanda Nunes. Everybody else is still going to be waiting.
You think Amanda Nunes comes back?
I think 100% she comes back. The question isn't does she come back to fight Kayla, because they were training partners.
Yeah.
The question is, does she come back to fight Juliana if Juliana wins? That's the question.
Yeah, because they're 1-1.
Right. So, but if Kayla wins, 100% she's coming back to fight Kayla. That's the biggest matchup for them too. I mean, both of them. That's the biggest matchup. Yeah. I mean,
that might be like the biggest women's fight we've seen since Nunes and Cyborg.
Cyborg, yeah.
Really?
I mean, I like Kayla Harrison. Back in the PFL, I liked her when she was over there. The only thing I don't like is the fact she took that one loss, her only loss, before she left. And I mean, this is MMA. Losses really don't mean as much as they do in boxing. In boxing, you lose one time, you're go to the prelims for the rest of your life. And in MMA, it really don't hurt you as bad. But it's just nice to see someone of her caliber to have that 0 going for a title. But now, and Juliana's nothing to scoff at though. She could very, very, very easily win this fight, especially with her grappling. If Kayla Harrison's strong and she can out wrestle her and grapple her in that aspect, I don't know if she can jiu-jitsu wise.
Yeah, she's probably better, but she's definitely gonna hold her down as long as possible.
If Juliana can tire her out, I really could see Juliana getting a late submission, late 4th, 5th round submission.
If she can tire her out, Julie Pena can catch her too, though.
Yeah,
because we don't really know what Kayla Harrison is like when she gets rocked.
Right. I mean, well, Larissa Pacheco's she's real good, like power puncher. So, and she took a lot from her. Like they had a bunch of back and forth fights. I don't think Juliana's got that kind of power like Pacheco does. When I talk, Pacheco has Amanda Nunez cyborg type power. Maybe not as bad, but she's up there with that kind of power. And Kayla Harrison fought her 2 or 3 times and was able to withhold that. I don't think Juliana's gotten near that kind of power. I honestly think if it's Juliana winning, it's she got her tired and choked her out somewhere in the 4th, 5th round.
Yeah.
Well,
Which is gonna be hard to do. Though.
Yeah. I don't see it happening. I see Kayla winning by decision.
Well, the line's probably
Finish.
-100 Taylor Harrison or something.
I was going to tell you that Kayla has the highest line out of the
800,
entire line.
850.
It's minus 625. She's the
Hey,
heaviest.
I was
favorite.
close. I said -600.
Yeah.
She's the heaviest favorite. Period.
Yeah, it's warranted. She is.
She's a
She's
beast.
nasty. She is. And this really is a showcase fight for her.
And when you look at her, you wouldn't imagine that any other woman in UFC could beat her anyways.
Right.
Just from looking at appearance. You just be like, yeah, she looks like Brock Lesnar, but in women's.
Yeah.
No,
Literally.
that's his daughter. She looks.
No, I'm saying like
I know.
when you look at Brock Lesnar compared to the men he fought, and then
Yeah.
you look at Kayla Harrison compared to the women she fought, she's like the Brock Lesnar in that aspect.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. I think Kayla Harrison gets it done. She just mauls her, I think. Don't get me wrong, Juliana can take a beating. She can take a beating.
Oh, she definitely can. She showed that with the Nunez.
Yeah. I think Kayla Harrison knows this is a good fight. This is going to make her some money. Winning the title is definitely going to but the money is going to be in getting this win and getting to Amanda Nunez to come out of retirement.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think Kayla Harrison knows not to take her lightly. Like make sure she capitalizes on her game plan 100% and doesn't give her any slack.
Yeah.
Because she knows how tough Juliana Pena is. You just watch the girl's highlight reel and you can see how tough she is.
Right. All right, last up, we got the main event. A rematch between Merab Dvalishvili and Sean O'Malley. I mean, Merab coming off his, obviously beat O'Malley for the title, and then he dominated. I would consider dominating Umar.
He did dominate him more.
Yeah, I mean, nobody was wanting to fight Umar. Then Merab was like, yeah, let him fight me. And then
He had his way.
Yeah.
I actually watched the UFC, the 316 countdown, and it's 316, right? I said it right?
yeah.
And Merab was talking about when he was in the octagon with Umar, it felt like he was sparring.
Yeah, I believe it. Like,
That's
and
which is
if somebody didn't really follow, they watched that fight, it was like, this is not an even fight. That fight between Merab and Umar does not showcase how good Umar really is. Umar is nasty.
dude. I thought Umar was going to dominate Merab,
Yeah,
and then it was the complete opposite of what I
complete
thought.
opposite.
Because like when you talk about like what did Merab do the first time he fought with Malley, though, it's just take down.
That's his fight style.
But I did see that Merab, which obviously is probably 100% false, knowing off Merab's history, but he said he was going to test himself and box with O'Malley. I just don't see that being. I don't see him boxing with O'Malley.
They don't call him a machine for nothing. I mean, his game plan from day one is, hey, I'm going to come in, we're going to see how many takedowns. He broke the record in one of his fights, like blew the record out the water with the takedown.
Mm-hmm.
He makes the most money defending that title, and the easiest way for him to defend that title is just to out grapple everybody, and he can do it. There's nobody in that division I can match him in grappling. I don't see why he would stray away from that game plan.
And because it's two totally different fighters.
100%.
Like O'Malley does not want to go to the ground with anybody, and Merab doesn't want to stand up with anybody.
Yeah.
So you take the two. I don't know. O'Malley's got to stay on his feet, and obviously Merab's got to have O'Malley on his back.
Now the caveat to it, that last fight, O'Malley come in off an injury. He couldn't grapple the whole training camp. Yeah, I think it's a rib injury or something.
Torn labrum.
Yeah.
He had to have hip surgery.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like an excuse, but not being able to grapple in training against when you got to fight against Merab, that's huge. That's
Yeah, well,
massive.
he said the injury happened 10 weeks before the fight. He had a schedule for surgery after the fight.
Yeah.
But he said he wasn't going to be the guy to back out of the fight. He was going to go ahead and fight and wasn't going to make excuses. Which he never really made excuses.
No.
He just said, I was hurt. And he never was like, oh, I lost because I was hurt.
Right.
He's just like, he beat me. It sucks to lose. Now I'm going to go have surgery and I'll come back and fight him again.
Yeah. I mean, I've liked O'Malley from Contender Series. Then it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, the way he lost to Cheeto, and it was like I didn't lose.
Yeah, I agree.
But the way he handled this loss is polar opposite of the way he handled the other loss. So I kind of gained more respect for him. Hell of a fighter, great fighter. And he said coming into this camp, he's changed. He got off streaming. He ain't streaming no more supposedly. Quit smoking.
He goes smoking.
Yeah, quit smoking. Quit jacking the peen. He said. I mean, he said he changed the whole lifestyle. So
Spending more time with his wife and kids.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really excited to see if O'Malley can capitalize, close the gap, because there's such a huge gap between Merab and everybody else in that division.
Yeah.
Like, whenever you look back and you say, why didn't he want to fight Aljamain? He could have had the title a long time ago. Yeah, it's probably because he knew he could have had the title a long time ago. There's nobody going to deny him from being the champion. Let his buddy hold the title for a little bit. Once his buddy loses it, now I can go hold it for a while. Because there's a huge gap between him and the next guy. But it's gonna be awesome to see how much that gap O'Malley can close.
Yeah, especially once he can really work his takedown defense, because O'Malley has good takedown defense.
Yeah, and he's got good.
He just got dominated by Merab last.
He's got great. I'd probably argue great jiu-jitsu, not just good jiu-jitsu. He's got great jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But when you got somebody on top of you, just mauling you, can you put that jiu-jitsu to work?
Yeah. And O'Malley has the best hands in that division.
Yeah, by far. So
Got somebody on top of you mauling you, Roll Tide.
yeah. What's the line on that one?
Yeah, obviously Merab is the favorite, minus 310 to 250.
That's it.
To me, I'm actually. I feel like it's closer.
I mean, a 3-1 favorite. That's
further than I thought.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, but the way he's handled everybody, it should have been higher. I'm just being honest.
Maybe they're taking the injury into consideration.
Yeah.
Or they're taking the fact that O'Malley's only lost 2 fights, and one of them he got injured in, and then the other one was Merab.
Yeah, one he got injured in, and the other one he got injured before. Who are you taking in this one, Austin?
I'm taking O'Malley. I think O'Malley, if he can. So Merab's coming in, and how do you defend a wrestler? Is you hit him with the knees. O'Malley in the final round, in the 5th round, he caught him with the toe kicks to the fucking.
Oh
ribs.
yeah.
And he could have finished Merab, but Merab, was running. He was hurt, and then O'Malley caught him again. So if O'Malley can take advantage of the kicks up the middle and the knees up the middle, he can knock him out. But he's got to time it. It's all got to be off timing. O'Malley can't go in there playing basketball like he was against dude nobody ever talks about, or probably should have never been in the ring. O'Malley to begin with. He's out there.
Was that Moutinho?
Yeah,
something like that.
He's got to take this fight serious. He's got to come in with a good game plan, and he's got to understand the timing of Merab's takedowns. Which, how do you do that? I don't know, because Merab just hits you all of a sudden. You didn't even think the guy was going to take you down. He just shoots real quick,
Right.
So I don't know. O'Malley's really gonna. The knees are going to be a huge part of the game for O'Malley, and the kicks up the middle.
Yeah, remember his title defense against Cheeto? That knee he landed sounded like somebody hit him with a baseball bat.
My God!
I watched that back the other day, and it echoed through the arena. Like you can hear it on TV echoing. Like
yeah,
that was a nasty knee. I want O'Malley to win, but if I put money on it, I'd put my money on Merab. The man out grappled Olympic champion Henry Cejudo. Literally picks him up, and carries him across the ring. Like,
yeah.
That's the wrestling we're talking about here. I just don't see nobody being that close to him.
But the thing about Rob, that made me like stand out to me was just the way he dominated Umar. Like I never would have expected that. Like for him to beat O'Malley the first time, sure, but
Yeah.
to beat Umar the way he did,
Right. But if you want a prediction, I can give you a prediction. I predict Marab wins, and then O'Malley takes some time off, puts some weight on, and moves up to 145.
Yeah. I'm going to take O'Malley in the third round. I think O'Malley catches him. He catches him a couple times, and then on the third time that O'Malley catches him in that third round, he will finish.
That's very possible. But we'll see at the end of the week for the pay-per-view. What you got, Ray? Yeah, good talk. Good talk.
I'm gonna take Marab. I'm gonna take him going to decision. I think O'Malley's never really gonna get in, and he's gonna wear him down, and it's gonna be him at the end.
O'Malley just can't get frustrated because you know it's coming. You know Marab's going to take you down. He just can't.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I got. Now, outside of that, let's move on to our best bets of the week. I'm Red Samples.
Austin Harris.
Nick Ballinger.
Roll Tide.
Best bets of the week.
All right, Monday, best bets, June 2nd.
Yeah, I'm going to take Manny Machado for over 1.5 total bases. He's hitting a 371 against Logan Webb. And also, I'm going to take Sal Frelick for over 1.5 total bases.
I'm going to go with Luis Arias to get 1.5 total bases against Logan Webb and the Giants. Sitting at a 615 batting average. I think it's a good bet. Also, I'm going to go with Kerry Carpenter to get 1.5 bases against Jonathan Cannon against the White Sox, sitting at a 571 average with 3 out of his 4 hits going for extra bases. I think it could get the over with just one swing of the bat.
Yeah, I'm going Bryce Terrain over 1.5 total bases. Solely off he's 2 for 4 against Brady Singer. And then I'm going Shohei Ohtani because he's the easy pick. Either one of these you go hits, but I'm going him over 1.5 total bases. He's batting a 444 with a bomb against Blackburn. All right. Best bets, June 3rd, Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm going to take Zach Wheeler for 6+ strikeouts. He's had 6 or more strikeouts in his last 3 starts. And then I'm also going to take Carlos Rodon for 6+ strikeouts because he's had 8 or more strikeouts in 2 of his last 3 starts.
All right, let me get Rob Refsnyder for over 1.5 bases versus Yusei Kikuchi. Batting 455 against him should be good value here. Also, let me get Carlos Santana to get 1.5 bases versus Rodon. Hopefully, he's not one of those strikeouts you were talking about here. He's having a 357 versus Rodon. It should be a good matchup, and I could easily get him a few hits this game.
All right, I'm going to take Gunnar Henderson over 1.5 total bases. We haven't seen much out of Kirby this year so far, him battling injuries, and Gunnar Henderson has a 400 against him, so I like him in this spot. And then I'm going to go ahead and take Freddie Freeman for over 1.5 total bases as well. Him against McGill, he's batting a 429. That wraps up our MLB best bets of the week. I'm Red Samples.
Austin Harris.
Nick Ballinger.
Roll Tide.
Shut the fuck up.